my shirt. Welcome to the Bullhorn Betty Kids Club.
From the East Coast to the West Coast, we are everywhere true crime is. We are asking for the public's help. We are searching in the woods. We are doing what it takes here on the Bullhorn Betty channels to find answers to the most alarming cases we have been watching on the news. I can tell you personally that I have traveled this entire country seeking these answers and bringing that content right here to you here on the Bullhorn Betty channels and Bullhorn Betty Crime Stories. We are happy with the work that we've done. We brought many answers to the public, and we have defied mainstream media in our pursuit of the truth in these cases. We will continue to work. We will continue to fight for these victims, and we will continue to tell their stories here on my channels. Welcome to the Bullhorn Betty brand of channels and the Coffee Club. Thank you for your love. Thank you for your support. And more importantly, thank you for allowing me to bring these victims' stories to each and every one of you, advocating for each of these victims. God bless you. God bless America. And more importantly, God bless our victims. Well, hello, my beautiful people. It's nice to see you this Sunday evening. I had a wonderful day today. It's been great. It's been great. And I'm so happy that all of you guys are here. We've got so many people already in chat. So thank you guys so much. We are here because of a 15-year-old medically needy boy that disappeared from his home between midnight and 6 a.m. on February 26, 2024, according to his mother and stepfather. Katie and Chris outlined to the world all the reasons why Sebastian may have left the home, would not have left the home, but very little as to why he would walk out in the middle of the night. He left his shoes, he left jackets, he left his switch, he left his cell phone. Basically, the boyfriend said the girlfriend left the keys, the wallet, and the purse as she ran out the door in the middle of the night. That's what we're hearing. There is no way in the world anybody would believe that. If it was a woman and a man, why in the world are we believing that? Because it's a son and a mother. If we heard this story and a guy was telling law enforcement or telling the public that his girlfriend disappeared in the middle of the night and left her keys, her purse, and her cell phone behind, would we honestly believe that woman walked out willingly? Because Sebastian always wore his shoes outside. He never had a jacket, even though it was a colder night. His video games, which are must-have items, and his phone, which he would have taken because his father would have called him. His father does not believe his son walked out of the home. Chris and Katie have listed more reasons why he wouldn't walk out of the home than why he would. The only reason that they state why he would is because there's no other way he could have left the home. That's it. Not that anybody saw him, nothing. Law enforcement cannot determine how Sebastian left their home. There is no evidence to support him leaving on his own accord. Around day 8, Sebastian was missing, law enforcement scaled back efforts and started entertaining foul play, although there was no evidence at this juncture. And the reason why I said at this juncture is because law enforcement has stopped all communications with the public, and therefore we don't know what they have. They're being very scarce with Nick Barris, giving him very little information, just that they have no other information. Sorry, my drink, I just realized, was frozen and leaking on I got very cold drinks. Sorry about that. My Dr. Pepper, I like it in the bottom because it freezes. Well, this one I wasn't paying attention to. And usually you have to drink them at least a little bit. So when the ice starts coming up, it doesn't make it overflow, but it just popped the top right before I got here. So cheers. Okay. Hopefully no more. It was almost to my papers. Like I printed out all these papers, and then Dr. Pepper was creeping toward it. So I saved the papers. Anyways, around the day 8 marker is when law enforcement pulled back efforts and they started entertaining foul play. Not that there was any evidence of it, just the fact that there was no evidence. They could not find a scent. Something wasn't feeling right or smelling right to the professional law enforcement bodies out there. So that's why they started turning to foul play. One key factor that was huge that every single person, including me, did not make a big deal about when it happened. And quite frankly, we should have. It's huge. It's huge. But it's the DA. The DA was on the scene on day 3. And we saw him out there. They had an article. The news guy was out there. The news lady, she was asking about why the DA was out there. I remember it, but I wasn't thinking because, we are always out at these crime scenes and it's not uncommon for DAs to be out there, but they're crime scenes. And so it didn't even dawn on me. Wait a minute. This is not a crime scene. This is a missing person. This is not criminal. This is not a criminal investigation. There's no need for the DA to be out there at day 3. And I don't know why I never paid attention to it, but it's something that's huge, especially now that hindsight's 2020. And we have learned from Tony, I think it was like, I don't know, I think maybe a month ago, 3 weeks ago by now, that the case took a 180 at day 3. And that happens to coincide when the DA was out there. This is huge because, again, why did I overlook it? Because I'm accustomed to seeing DAs out there. What am I accustomed to seeing DAs out there for? Like Audrey Cunningham. We saw the DA out there. This was a crime, an active crime scene. The DA was advising law enforcement about procedures to make sure they dotted their I's and crossed their T's to build a case. So again, I really believe that this is a critical piece of key information that the public needs to be aware of, and it needs to be a big deal because it is a big deal. The DA does not go out to these types of cases. They don't make a personal appearance at these type of cases, a missing person case, one that there is no abduction alleged or probable. So I think that that's really, 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 really important. I think that's a huge factor. We've also discussed a whole host of issues, talking points on this case. Our main focus, however, has been concentrated on February 25th from 9 p.m. to 7 a.m. on February 26th. That is where our entire concentration of this case is, because that is the case. That is the entire case. The cavalry was at their front door by 7 a.m. From that point forward, law enforcement's there. So everything from the cavalry back to 9 p.m. when Sebastian allegedly went to sleep is where we're living. We have learned a lot. Before we get into this case, I just want to say hi to everyone that's here. We have over 457 people in chat. So I do want to thank you all for being here. There is one thing while I have you guys here. Don't forget to like this video. We're also, a beautiful organization has reached out to me, and I just wanted to talk to you guys about this before we got started. Let me pull it up real quick because this is to raise funds for the Gabby Petito Foundation. Here it is. And it's One Hope Wines. One Hope Wines. Let me get this this copied down. and I'll read a little bit about this organization to you. This is the event. They are raising something for the. Here it is. The event is right there. Let me pull the banner off. I will be making a video about this in due time to more in line advertise for it. But let me just read you a little bit about this. So, One Hope Wine gives 10% back of all purchase to date. They have raised nearly $11 million for 40,000 causes. One of the fundraisers going on right now is for the Gabby Petito's Foundation. And they were reaching out to see if I would be able to help. They do have golf outings coming. They have also raffling off CrimeCon tickets for 2025 and subsequent fundraisers and things of that nature. And this is called One Hope Wines. One Hope Wines. I'm going to be getting more information and more details, but if you guys would like to participate or purchase any wines, you know that we are definitely all about organizations that give back to the communities and give back to organizations that are very near and dear to our heart. And One Hope Wines does do just that. So if you are a wine lover and you just like the idea, go to onehopewines.com and order your purchase. It's for a great cause. And again, there is the event that's going on. And this is a fundraiser event to help sponsor something for the Gabby Petito organization. And again, I will be getting with these folks sooner than later to discuss how we can help. I've also reached out to Chronicles of Olivia to maybe put together, please, a beautiful video showcasing the wine. So we will see how that goes. But again, it's all about giving back. We all can the beautiful part about working here and the sky is the limit is that when you start getting where you're going, always remember to give back. It is, huge. It's a huge part. A lot of the times for me, especially several years ago, the only thing I could give back in this world was just my time, right? I didn't have a whole lot of money. I still don't have a whole lot of money, but I can give a little more now than I once was able to do. Back in the day, I would work with the volunteers. I would, volunteer stuff. I would do the soup kitchens. I would be at protests. I would be at my county meetings. I would always be giving back. I've always been giving back. One of the journeys that I've taken to be where I'm at today is this. I, as a human being, as a damaged and problematic human being that I was once upon a time, I had to fix me. And one of the ways that keeps me fixed is always giving back. For whatever reason, it just keeps me grounded. It lets me know where I came from. It always reminds me that, things could be a lot worse. And God gave me each and every day to have a second chance. And I will always fight for somebody else to have their second chance as well. So that kind of is what brought us here and why we do the stuff we do. But before we get started, there's a lot of people in chat, so it's gotten too large for me to actually say hi to you guys each individually. So I'm just going to give a big blanket shout out to everyone. I did want to address one thing, and it's not to start drama or anything like that. It is actually to stifle it, because I'm getting kind of sick and tired of people spreading around misinformation about me personally. And I'm getting tired of it. So I'm just going to address it. And this is the one I'm going to address. And it was a comment that was made somewhere that basically says, yeah, she's dealing with her own lawsuit with another YouTuber. Yes, I am. She has threatened to ruin another YouTube's marriage with some information. No, I never threatened to ruin her marriage. I threatened her with everybody has their own skeletons in the closet. And her skeletons happen to be part of my story. And as you know, I talk about my story on here a lot. And I'm sorry, but if she did something that could jeopardize her marriage, it's not me ruining her marriage. Just FYI. Because I wasn't the one that made the decision for her. And I'm not the one that's married. FYI. So that's incorrect. There's a news interview out there at a Trump rally saying she attends every one because her YouTube channel supporters pay her money. First of all, I don't collect money on here. If people tip me for my the work that I do, I'm always appreciative of that. But my account, I sell advertisements on here. I make a good living selling advertisements on my various social media accounts. Okay, very little do I ever come to my audience and ask for money. And usually when I do, it's for trips that they are actually getting a benefit from. And trips with costs of flight, auto rentals, hotels, I would never be able to do it without my audience. However, as far as my political stuff, I make my own money. Okay? I make a decent salary. All right. I've got multiple channels. I've got other interests. I don't understand where these people come from. I have a home that's bought, paid for, free and clear. YouTube didn't get this for me, folks. I had this long before I came here on the streets. I have a paid off car out in the front yard. So I don't know what planet they are from, where they honestly think I live off of you guys. I work my ass off and probably work 10 times harder than they do, and it shows in numbers. So I just wanted to be very, very clear that no, if anybody needs receipts, you're more than welcome to look at the last 2 years of my channel. Very limited fundraising. I think the fundraisers that we did were for an 8-year-old boy for Christmas, which these animals actually thought that they are entitled to pick up the phone and reach out to the church and ask them if we were doing this, going real life, causing grief for a church just to help an 8-year-old. This is from those channels, one of those channels that I'm suing. This nonsense. It sure is. So, anyways, just wanted to make sure everybody's crystal clear on that, right? Crystal clear, Chris? I just don't like people spreading lies. There's a lot of things that I do, and I have no problem telling you guys I do them. And not only that, but everything is literally posted live. So when I'm at rallies, guess what? You see it. Oh. We'll see. We'll see, little birdie. We'll see. So I received an email, and this is something about Melissa's Facebook post about Sebastian sleeping in a back seat and talking about how that wouldn't have been so suspicious had it not been taken down. Additionally, there was recording. So she's basically saying that she believes that everybody in the family really didn't care for Sebastian, and that everybody really did treat him bad. So getting on to an interview that was done, and this is with Web Sleuth, and somebody had wrote in Crystal Deb, crystal clear, BH Betty. I haven't even finished designing my crystal clear Chris shirt yet, and now you're giving me a Betty shirt to make too. Tell them all this didn't piss, spin buttercup. Oh, thank you, Chaos. Thank you. Seth had plans to take Sebastian full time, but Chris and Katie did not know that. It set them off guard. I think that this person mistaken, and I wrote them back and explained that I thought that they had mistaken this. It wasn't about Seth taking Sebastian full time. What the issue was about on the Web Sleuth. I got to go get some tissue. I've been very congested. I've got allergies and they're driving me nuts. Sorry, they're driving me nuts. And so I wrote this person back, and I just thought maybe if she was confused, that maybe there might be some other people confused. She's got some other stuff in here that I've got highlighted, so I'll read all that stuff to you as well. But the issue with Chris and Katie and the problems they had when Sebastian was going to go over to Seth's house was the online schooling. That's what they were not aware of. It sounded like Sebastian did not want the online school, and there was a disagreement when they were all discussing it because Sebastian didn't want to do the online school. Does everybody, am I accurate on that? I didn't go back and listen to it. I need to, because she did put the link in here. But that's just, I remember that because they're like, wait a minute. Why are they saying, because Chris was screaming like, yeah, he didn't even want to go to his dad's house. Something like that in here. And it was over the school, the online, at homeschool. It didn't sound like Sebastian really wanted to do the homeschool, but his father knew his limitations and knew that it was going to shock his system to be at a new school with new people by himself for the first time. And it sounded to me, according to what Seth had said in an interview to me, that he was trying to, get him worked up to regular school. It wasn't a permanent situation, and they were acting like it was. And I think that's what they were talking about. I think it was related to the online school, not whether or not Sebastian was going to the father's full time. Chris wanted him at his father's full time. It's not a done deal, Sebastian moving to, but this is interesting. It's not a done, because they did say, let's pause. I remember them saying that. But this person says it's not a done deal of Sebastian moving to his dad's. Chris, obviously, by his reaction in the video, was not aware until that very moment in the interview, 2 months after Sebastian went poof, that Seth told Sebastian it was going to be permanent. That matters because that obviously means prior to Sebastian disappearing, Chris was still under the impression Sebastian was not moving to his dad's. I don't believe that. And I believe that Sebastian or Chris did know he was going. Chris is the one that's been pushing for Sebastian to go to his dad's full time. So if anybody's confused about that, Chris has acknowledged this conversation that he approached Seth himself. He said that in multiple interviews. Seth has acknowledged that Chris approached him to take Sebastian in multiple interviews, citing that it was they were having marital problems, and we'll leave it at that. I truly feel like the Bauer, but this does make sense, and I didn't think about it. We know Kathy Bowersox tried to help Chris, take faith. What if Kathy wanted Sebastian out of the way because of faith? So this person also feels, and I didn't think about it, but the Bowersox having motive and means and opportunity to carry this out for whatever. Hey guys, I did Scarlett. Hey Scarlett, it's nice to see you. Everybody else that is coming in, I'm sorry. I'm back here reading a bunch of paperwork. So for everybody that's coming in, thank you so much. Don't forget to hit the like button. And again, we are doing a kind of a sponsorship type of thing, just bringing awareness to One Hope Wines that are doing a fundraiser for the Gabby Petito Foundation, if you guys would like. Also, if you're just a wine person and you like a good wine that gives back to the community, any of their wines, they give 10% back. They have raised over $11 million for over 40,000 organizations. And it's an honor that we can help promote their wines and promote the event that will eventually help Gabby Petito. Their event right now is going to raise funds for the Gabby Petito Foundation. So please, if anybody is out there, if you guys know, that is a case that is near and dear to me. It is the case that made and created Bullhorn Betty. She is the poster child of domestic violence, and hopefully her legacy will help many women that come behind her. So we don't want any other women to be her tragedy. So, or in the same way that she did. Fair point, Sonia. I'm missing a lot of stuff in chat. So once I get done with this, we'll open up the phones for a little bit. I don't know how much time because we're already 26 minutes in, and I still have a lot more work here to go through. But the other stuff should go fairly quickly. So I just thought it was interesting, a good perspective with the Bowerstocks having motive, means, and opportunity. But what we are actually here for is really Chris's alibi. Where was Chris? Where was Katie? What are the alibis here for both of them? And right now we've been focused so much on Katie, we really haven't looked a whole lot at Chris. But Chris has some explaining to do as well. You know what I'm saying? Chris has a lot of explaining to do, because why was he laying? This is what I'm thinking. This is what I did years ago when I was in the construction, in the construction trade. There were times that I would go out and party all night, right? Drink, whatever. It's a Sunday night. Probably shouldn't have been doing it, but did it anyways because you guys knew my lifestyle. And I remember pulling up my car at work so I wouldn't be late for work and falling asleep in my car. And when people got there, they would tap on the window and get me up so I wasn't late for work. It wasn't that I was trying to arrive early. It was just that I was scared if I didn't get there and I fell asleep at home, I wouldn't make it. I've had many nights like that. And I keep wondering if Chris was seen in his crane at 5:15 and he didn't start until 7, what was the purpose of him sitting in that crane all that time? I really don't think he used the crane. I know many, many, many people do think that he used that crane for something. But one thing I have learned is those cranes record every movement. Every movement. And we're learning that St. Jude's has quiet times. So that means there are times that construction is not allowed to take place on the property. And from what I'm hearing is that one of the rules is construction can't start before 7 a.m. And that's why everybody starts at 7. So I don't know how true that is. I'm getting that from third people. Actually, to be honest with you, I don't know who I'm getting that information from because they're coming to me by email. And so anybody can be anybody in email, just like anybody can be anybody on phones. You know what I'm saying? I have no way of verifying who those people are or if their information is accurate. But I do look into what I can. And the one thing I looked into and did find out is that all the movements, and even sometimes, that's why it's so important for me to find out what crane he's actually using, because if I can find out what crane he's actually using, I can find out what that crane actually records. What movements does it record? Does it record a body being in the seat? Does it know when he sits down? There are some that are like that. It's a safety feature because they don't want the machine running or operational if somebody's not in that seat. You see? So I don't even know if the thing would function if somebody wasn't in the seat. It might be a safety feature. I don't know. It's possible. It's possible. So we hear from the PIs that Chris is or at least seen at the Yogi Bear campground at 9 p.m. on the 25th. After that, there's no information. Katie's call is to him at 9:43, which is what I believe. Oops, got something here. Hold on. Which I believe is when things happen. This is an interesting thing as well. The next morning, there's been a lot of confusion around the time of the 911 call. I personally like to see it. Somebody says that Terry Lynn has it and was playing it on her channel. I didn't see which. The link is added, but I haven't listened to it yet. And it was on March 20th, and the timestamp was 1 hour, 9 minutes, and 15 seconds. And she says, can I play the call for you? It was at 6:39, and Chris disputes the time the call was made. I believe the body cam footage came out, and it is determined that the call came in at 6. I heard 6:33. Somebody else heard 6:34, but right in that 6:33, 6:40, 34 time frame. So I don't know. All I know is that according to Chris, he was already on his crane and it was already operational. He even gives the information that he had his walkie-talkie in one ear and his phone in the other ear. And when Katie called him, he was just confused because he was confused. He's like, huh? And it makes you wonder, did his phone automatically answer Katie's calls? I know that has been brought up here quite some time. But why would Chris be in that crane at 5:15 in the morning? Why? Is it because he had a long night and he wanted to make sure he was there to report for duty by 7 when he needed to start his job, and he knew that somebody would come over there and knock on his crane and say, hey, let's get it going, right? Why was he there so early? Why? That'll be a question I don't know if we'll ever know. Now, here's the one of our subscribers I had asked earlier today that I wanted to hear. I wanted to see the message where it started talking about the lights. You know, the lights going off in and out of Sebastian's room. So here is what was said back then. I was told by a close neighbor that morning, and there's some bizarre statements here, and it's so bizarre that now it corroborates Seth's statement of how Katie was acting the morning he got there, where she shoved the phone in and say, see, trying to do convincing language. You need to hear this because we hear more convincing language in this. Her statement to her neighbor is totally unnatural. Totally unnatural. Here's what it says. I was told by a close by neighbor that morning she saw Katie outside with police when she went to take her kids to school. She stopped and asked what happened. This is a little concerning for me, the way it's stated. Katie told she told Sebastian to go to bed at 9 p.m. She fell asleep on the couch, never mentioned the conversation between her and Chris, and woke up at 11:30, went in to check on Sebastian, which she obviously said she didn't do anymore now that he's older. This is what she told the neighbor. He must have been awake because his light or a light was on, according to this neighbor's Ring camera. She said she told Sebastian to go to bed. He had to get up the next morning. She walked across the house to go to her room. She walked across her house to go to her room to go to bed. As she's walking through the kitchen, she hears a loud noise. She yells back at Sebastian, asking him what that was. He says, "Nothing, Mom. Go to bed." So she does. According to the neighbor close to them, their Ring camera shows the lights going on and off because it's so dark. This neighbor also mentioned seeing a silhouette in the front room, possibly the dining room window, a couple of minutes. Then all the lights go off. All the lights go off. But my question is when your neighbor comes up to you, I want you to think about this. We've all had lost animals, right? At least most of us. Maybe some of us that never had animals probably don't have lost animals. But those of us that have had animals, every now and again, our animals have been Houdinis and got up out the house. And we come in and we're like, where are you? You're nowhere to be found. So we go out and look for our animals. And we frantically look. And if somebody's seeing us walking down the road and says, hey, what are you doing? We say, our cat is lost. We're looking for a cat. We're looking for, Garfield, our pet Garfield, right? When somebody asks me, what happened? I don't say, well, I had the screen door open, I had the front door open, the screen door closed, that was at 6 a.m. and I decided to go ahead and get into the shower, and that was at 6:30. And when I got out of the shower at 6:45, I noticed that the screen door was cracked. And, I just don't know because, earlier that day, it sounds convincing. She starts right off with, I told Sebastian to go to bed at 9 and I fell asleep on the couch. That's what she tells the neighbor? Not that I woke up this morning and Sebastian wasn't home. Her statements are littered with this convincing language and specificity, like it's a script. Very key, detailed information. This is where Chris Proudfoot, right here, is acknowledging and trying to settle the worries of concerned people about this turning into a criminal investigation. This is what Chris Proudfoot had to say about it. Good evening, everyone. Thank you all for your interest and help in searching for my stepson. Yes, they still search, just not at the presence of this first 8 days. It turned more into an investigation now. There has not been anything to suggest foul play, but nothing's being taken off the table either. Our prayers and thoughts for the community are out there. And can't thank you enough for what you all are doing. Thoughts and prayers are out there for the community, but not his stepson. But I just thought it was interesting because this one is where he's actually trying to get in front of the news that this is turning into a criminal investigation. And he wants to make sure he lets everybody know not to worry. It's just becoming an investigation now. There's nothing that indicates foul play. He wants to make sure everybody knows there's no foul play involved. They can't have that type of investigation. Then we have Chris Proudfoot, after his interview, people start taking this stuff apart. And like this one right here, people think these right here could be teeth marks. There's scratches all over here. When asked about these markings on him, he says, the dogs did it. This one over here, these right here are too wide for their dog's paws. And these right here are what people believe, again, are the bite marks on Christopher Proudfoot. So this was 8 days after Sebastian disappeared. And this was after Chris came back from a 17-hour tour to go pick up a camper that was literally 3.5 hours away from his home. It doesn't make sense. When did those markings get on Chris? Was it before he got home or after he returned? Or after he returned from going and getting the camper, his 17-hour tour? And then look what I see this one. I don't know why I didn't catch it before. Look at the tips of his fingers. Look at the tips of those fingers. They are tore up. They are tore up. What's Chris's alibi? I don't know. Because our window that we ourselves are looking into is from 9 p.m. on February 25th to 7 a.m. on February 26th. We have confirmation he was at his camper at 9 p.m. on February 25th. I have no information, no corroboration, no statements of fact of where Chris was after 9 p.m. and before 5:15 a.m. What is his alibi? Because every person that asks him about his alibi, he says, or when he saw Sebastian last, he won't give a specific date or time. He says that it will cause problems in the investigation. We covered this comment on our June 7th live, our June 7th, 8 p.m. live. We covered that topic. Here's something else I wanted to read to each and every one of you. I probably have the missing piece of the puzzle. On the 26th, around 5:45 in the morning, there was an SUV parked on the side of the road and right past the country store on New Hope Road. I cannot be 100%. I cannot be 100% swear on the Bible, but the SUV looked just like CP's mother's SUV. But if it is her vehicle, then the time added up to when Sebastian's mother was about to drive to the school and look for him. I can almost bet my life that she met up with her there and gave him to her or gave her something. It could have been evidence that they did not clean up the night before. It could have been cleaning supplies, cleaning rags that they needed to get out of the house. Because in my opinion, if he was there that night, he was taking Sebastian out of that house that night. I don't know if he would have came all the way back just to leave the largest piece of evidence behind. Hey, Cheeky Chops, it's nice to see you. I done some asking around and found the landowner of the information. This is the woman that was going to get the trail cams. I never heard back from those trail cams. Here's another one. Why did Seth have to beg KP for signs of life from Sebastian the weekend before he went missing? Is that not sus? Why that term? Was there a concern that he didn't trust her with his son? And the answer is now, hindsight 2020, the answer is yes. He had a lot of reasons not to trust her. We just didn't know that. Apparently, she was abusive to him. Apparently, once she got custody of Sebastian for the first time, she was responsible for Sebastian all by herself. He gets R'd and SA'd. I just want to put that into perspective. From a woman that was R'd and SA'd. I don't understand how that could happen. Because you would think that a woman that has her background would be so hyper vigilant because of her own traumas. To me, it doesn't make sense. Signs of being unstable? Yes. Or was there a statement made that she didn't want Sebastian to go live with Seth? Maybe an argument that she changed her mind about letting Seth get primary custody. Maybe words were said implying she would never give him primary. Makes you think a little bit about why he used that term. Or did Seth use the term to make KP look unstable as a parent? No, I think he hadn't talked to his son since Thursday, and people were in his ear that there was no proof that he returned back to the house, which at the time there was no proof he returned back to the house that day. So, I think in all fairness, I honestly think he just wanted to see his son to make sure that rumor could be limited. That's just my personal opinion. So this is when we start learning about Chris and his arrival time at his job. Okay. And this is what it says. And this was from Trevor Lee, Trev Time, back when he actually did good work and wasn't such a, an emotional wreck. The PI team working Sebastian's case has released a few updates that are available to be disclosed at this time. Remember, these are not private investigators. They are public investigators. And why I say, and I will say with almost 1,000 people here, do not use internet PIs. If you have a loved one missing, we will get you a reputable PI in your community that will work for you, not their audience. I am here to help families, not hurt families. Every time an internet PI is involved in one of my cases, it goes to shit because of all the nonsense and drama they bring into the case. Stay away from internet PIs. Warn people going through this process to stay away from internet PIs, and tell them if they want a legitimate PI to reach out to Bullhorn Betty, and we will do a fundraiser and get them a darn good PI that works for them and only them, not for me, not for my audience, but for the family. Anyways, let's get to what they found out. The sex offenders that live within a mile of Stafford Court is no longer a person of interest in their investigation. They interviewed him, got his alibi. They validated his alibi thoroughly. So that is a good plus. So I know a lot of people were concerned about some neighbors and stuff like that. So there it is. The RSO that was in and around the area has been cleared. Okay, maybe not law enforcement. They're on the lower on the list, but we know they have a validated alibi. That's good. Move on. We're not going to put that man through the ringer because he's an RSO and has nothing to do with this case because he's an RSO and a boy went missing. Okay, we're not going to put him through a ringer, but we will Seth, the father of the missing boy. Just want to throw my sarcasm out there just a little bit. If you can't smell it from here. They say that they know for a fact that Christopher Proudfoot was accounted for in Memphis on Sunday evening and was on his job site at 5:15 a.m. on the morning that Sebastian was reported missing. Now, this Sunday evening, I heard that they're vague. They say evening here, so that's the factual information on this report is saying evening. I heard elsewhere it was 9 p.m. the last time anybody had saw him or, had answered for him. He was there at 9. Not that he left or anything. It's just I haven't heard anybody report him there after 9. So that's the only thing I said. So Sunday evening and was at his job at 5:15 a.m. on the morning Sebastian was reported missing. They did follow up with the lead regarding the Republic dumpster being dumped at Gallatin landfill that caught on fire. That is false. The dumpsters were dumped at AA in Nashville. Also, they were able to confirm with LE that those dumpsters were checked thoroughly in the morning hours of February 26th. So those storage things weren't as promising. So now we're going to get on to some information about what Christopher Proudfoot said about the 3-hour conversation. More detailed information about the 3-hour conversation and what he is willing to and unwilling to answer when it comes to this 3-hour conversation. Yes, we have over 800 people here on the Bullhorn Betty main channel. If you have not already, please consider going out, just exiting out just ever so slightly, just from the chat, and you'll see this thumbs up button. If you can go out there and throw one of those little likes on that thumbs up button, I'd greatly appreciate it. And if you'd come back in here and let me know what number you are and where you're from, I'd greatly appreciate that too. And if you would be so kind, why don't you tell your neighbors here on this chat what the temperature is in your area so we can have a weather check while we are sitting here giving me thumbs up. Sounds like a winner chicken dinner. So this is from an anonymous member. And they said, I've been holding this information for a while. Now I received this a while ago. So now it's been a while. But their conversation actually happened back on April 11th. Okay. So it's been almost 60 days since this conversation was had. That's 60 days. Thank you guys. God bless you. God bless you. I appreciate it. I hope you guys are enjoying this. I really try very hard to really bring it back to facts and receipts. We've got facts, we've got receipts. And I've had these facts and I've had these receipts. It's just that we talk about them, you know. I work very hard to try to keep out stuff. And you know what? People make mistakes. There has been times we have absolutely made mistakes. There's been we've had absolutely horrid shows, but they are exactly what they are. Absolutely horrid shows. Everybody has it, you know. But I've got to tell you, we really want to make sure that we are as factual as we possibly can. And that is really what I dedicate myself to, despite what you guys may hear. So I've been holding this for a while. I felt from the beginning that the 3-hour phone call is important. I'm posting screenshots of my conversation with Chris regarding that call. I find his responses to be interesting. And if you read between the lines like I did, it confirms to me that there is much more to this 3-hour call. You can decide for yourself. Thank you, guys. God bless you. God bless you. Thank you for that. So this is what the person says to Chris. Also, when you were on the 3-hour phone call with Katie, were you holding the phone and moving throughout the call, or did you just have it sitting untouched in one location on speaker throughout your entire conversation? I'm only asking because Ellie has technology that tells the orientation, slight movements of the phone while it's on a cell call. And they can tell if it doesn't move at all. So were you moving around with your phone, or did you keep it still in one spot untouched while you spoke to her for 3 hours? And his response, let me go back to that. I'm sure you guys can read that. I cannot answer due to an ongoing investigation. Okay, yes, and this person's great. Keeps pushing the envelope. Okay, yes, I understand why you can't speculate what happened. Okay, yes, I understand why you can't speculate what happened due to an ongoing investigation and not really knowing what happened. That's fair. But you can surely tell me about the phone, the cell phone call, and if you were holding the phone during the whole conversation, or if you sat it unmoved on a speaker the whole time while you relaxed and talked to Katie for 3 hours. That's a very simple question to answer, in my opinion. Very, very true. See what his response was. Yes, it may be a simple question, but it also opens up for speculation as to too many other things as well. And Ellie does not want that happening. There is already enough of it going on. So this person is still a little persistent and says, yes, understandable. So the only way it would open up more speculation is if the phone didn't move. doesn't mean you're guilty of anything, but that is the scenario that would cause speculation. If you were holding the phone and moving throughout the phone call, then that would not open things up for more speculation. So in reading between the lines of your response, it seems that you're implying that the phone wasn't moved. And again, I'm by no means saying that makes you guilty. The speculation on the cell phone call, the speculation on the cell phone subject goes away with one answer, and it just stays the same with the other answer. But it's not really opening anything up because that speculation is already out there. So it should quiet a simple question, quite a simple question to answer with no harm done. Again, just because a cell phone doesn't move doesn't mean a person's guilty of anything. So I want to make sure that's clear. And again, Chris's response. I understand your point completely. However, I'm listening to LE and doing what they ask of us. The frustration is there on all sides, but we trust the LE and the process very much. For that reason, we aren't answering a lot of questions anymore. Again, this is just some more information of how resistant Chris has been to answering some of the simplest questions when it comes to finding Sebastian or answers related to Sebastian. He doesn't want to answer because if he answers, he will be caught in a lie, in my opinion. To go on to say, how the family treats Sebastian. This is a post by Terry Bowersocks. I'm sure you guys have seen it. It says when somebody was asking him about his attention span and how they could approach him, he says, I cannot say for sure, but he didn't live with us. He's our grandson. So visited as often as the kids came by. He's a child with with child's interest, fun, and attention. First one thing and then another. His attention span depends on how many squirrels are in the room. Great commentary from good old grandpa. So why do we have a 10-hour or 17-hour trip to go pick up a camper that was only 3.5 hours away? Why was he at his construction site at 5:15 when he didn't work until 7? I don't know. But I can tell you his alibi stinks to high heaven too. And there's not a whole lot there for him. Not a whole lot there for him at all. I don't know how he's going to support his alibi. I really don't. Because I don't see how they can determine where he is or where he was. So it's pretty interesting. And then listen to this. I want to say something to you guys, and this is going to blow your mind, and this is what's really frustrating me here on YouTube. Do you know that people here on YouTube, and we know who was complaining about the shirts, those crystal clear shirts? Can you believe those people actually called TBI? They decided because of shirts on my moderator's channel that has nothing to do with them, by the way, and she's able to make whatever she wants. She took it down, but I'm going to be making the new shirt back, and it's going to be going on my site. So if anybody wants to complain to me, you can come right to me and complain about it. But it is definitely going back up. Nobody will ever intimidate one of my mods again, ever. But I will tell you, do you believe that they wasted resources, law enforcement resources, in an investigation where a 15-year-old autistic boy is missing, and they are wasting law enforcement's time on a stupid complaint about shirts? Shirts. So anybody that wants to sit here and justify that is horrible. Is horrible. Listen to this. People started blowing up Sumner County's phones over their 6 cease and desist letters going out. If I ever find out anyone is utilizing law enforcement resources for their petty YouTube BS, you are going to be front and center on Bullhorn Betty's show. We do not waste law enforcement resources on your horseshit. Shame on you. Like literally shame on you. I found this out and I was floored. Absolutely floored. You guys are some petty ass, whiny little bitches here on the streets of YouTube, and everybody is about sick and tired of your shit. I can't believe it. Let me find out who was making those calls, and I will be pulling public records, by the way. Oh, yes, I will. Let me find your numbers and your names. Who was calling there? Who was calling there? You think they're going to be able? I'm about to go into Tennessee. They're not going to keep a whole lot from Bullhorn Buddy. Let me find out who's been making calls to law enforcement. And you know I'll get it. You know damn well I'll get it. So next time you guys want to sit there and waste law enforcement times with this petty stuff, you guys are going to be presented on my show. I will redact what I am required to redact on here, but it will be a public record and I will show the crap out of it. And if you have a problem with it, it is not my problem. You shouldn't have done it. You shouldn't have done it. Shame on all the people out there causing problems unnecessarily for this case. What you have done is a disgrace. It's a disservice. And I hope the money and the 15 minutes of fame was worth it. This is why channels go up and channels come down, and the ones that are here for the good stick around. Just saying. So we'll be getting back out there. Seth was in our chat earlier on our morning live, caught me out off guard. Very, very thankful that he came in. And like I said to him, is I offered that we would raise legal expenses if he needed to move move that direction with these yahoos. He doesn't make a lot of money. He needs help. These people are just misguided. And if we need to raise money to help him get a good attorney to stop this nonsense, then that's what we are going to do. So I offered that to him. He has not accepted the offer. But if he does, we're going to raise his legal expenses. I will speak to the attorney, find out what needs to be made. Right now, Bear, I have no accounts. I don't want to raise money for it. I'm just preparing people that we may have to. So just FYI, if he needs those resources, we've watched what these people are doing to him. It's not right. It's not good. And so this family needs help, and we have always helped families, and we're not going to stop because we got some bad actors here. We work around them. We move through them. We move over them. We move under them. However it works, we help people. And if we need to raise funds for this man, that's what we're going to do. Again, he has not accepted the offer. We're not fundraising at all. Chicken pot pie for dinner? Are you trying to get me like addicted to food? Are you trying to win me through my stomach or something? What did I have? Oh, my neighbor. I made the steak yesterday, so my neighbor made me chop steak today. I gotta say, I like my cooking better. No offense, Glenn. No offense. I love you. Thank you for keeping me straight. But I ate, and then I ate a whole bag of candy, and I ate a whole bowl of ice cream, and then I did a whole bunch of paperwork, studying, and everything else. I mean, that was a a very good, thorough, thought out, program. I just wanted something that was more structured because this morning I was hot under the collar. Oh, good gracious. Crying over crystal clear shirt, a bunch of big, but to call law enforcement, these people have lost their ever-loving mind. Like, you're not entitled to certain stuff, dude. And quit crying victim every time you get butthurt. And quit picking up the phone and calling law enforcement like they're going to do a damn thing about it. You think they're going to shut down a freaking site? Are you guys idiots? Oh, I forgot we are dealing with idiots. Idiots. Absolute idiots. So please just, guys, stop supporting these hate channels and these trash channels. It's becoming entirely too toxic, and they are literally calling law enforcement over some bullshit.
Shut the front door up! Just go away!
Warning, bullshit alert!
Shut up!
That was bullshit!
Shut up!
Bullshit detected. Take precautions.
This late breaking news just in. Shut up! Will you shut up already? Hello? Hello, this is Mandy from Customer Service. Oh, shut up. Shut up.
Bullshit level, DEFCON 5.
All right, I'm done. I just had to. All right, guys, it has been great. I promised you guys I'd open up the phone lines. It's like 9:00. I'm exhausted. I'm like literally exhausted. So I think at this point, we've had a successful live, and we will open the phone lines. I promise tomorrow I will have the phone opens for you for our our Manic Monday. Good gracious, our Manic Monday. Oh, tomorrow I'm getting my window fixed. So that means Tuesday I can go get the oil changed. Ooh, we're getting closer and closer to set off. I'm getting excited, y'all. I'm getting excited. Oh, thank you, Buffalo Mountain, Tennessee girl. Yeah, we're all hoping that Sebastian is returned and returns safely. And that's what we all hope for. But I wish I had a poker face when it came to stuff like this. I really do. And I'm just not good with my poker face, and I'm not good with telling people a whole bunch of stuff I don't believe. And a new crystal clear windshield. Oh, good gracious. My word. So, yeah, we'll see how the windshields. It's going to be crystal clear. I'll just have to get a vinyl sticky of Chris. Okay, we'll put it on the passenger side, so we'll have him with us wherever we go. It'll feel like a real Chris is following me. I need to stop. All right, guys, go to bed. Tomorrow's work. We're going to already be pulling our hair out. It's Manic Monday. Love you guys. Oh, before we go, let's just go through here. Oh, Roxy, a member for 19 whole months. My word, girl, you've been with me. Thank you, Deb. God bless you. Chaos, thank you. If you received your Bullhorn Betty membership, don't forget to tell Michelle thank you. And look at that, our beautiful Me Too, our mod. And mods, thank you so much. Hopefully the chat was really good. It looks like, I was sitting here watching. I didn't watch all of it, but because you know I never do. But every time I looked over, it looked peaceful. I don't know if you had already whacked some people or not, but it seemed like everything was going great. So I appreciate everybody participating and not being a dick in the chat. I appreciate it. All right, guys, go make it a great evening. God bless. Rock it out with your coffee beans out. We'll see you tomorrow for Manic Monday. God bless.